From the ashes of humble beginnings, rise the sense of regeneration, signaling the dawn of a new age. The foundations of the old and antiquated, now demolished, and in its place the newly built pillars of fearlessness and opportunity. Dreams are clearer, expectations are set higher, and the quest for championship gold is even stronger than it's ever been before. At one time or another, everything goes through a period of evolution. The world of wrestling is no different. Welcome to a new age. Welcome to a new era. Welcome to a new FWE.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you here tonight inside of a brand new era of FWE as we get ready for tonight's Guardians of the Ring PLE. Jack, we've been hyping this up and hyping this up. The day has finally arrived.
That it has. This is going to be an absolutely massive night here in FWE, historic night, if you will. I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got in store for us here tonight.
Gonna be an incredible night. Of course, our two finals in the Guardians of the Ring tournament, but it is a packed card. As for the first time since winning the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship, Susan Storm defends against the #1 contender in Shigo.
We have the men's Disney Tag Team Championships on the line. Leonardo and Donatello are going to defend against Ed and Eddie, the New Look family.
And how about this? We get ourselves a rematch. The DC Intercontinental Championship. Poteet now the champion, Hades the challenger.
Elastigirl and Poison Ivy, a match for the Women's Universal Championship. This one should be very fun to see how it plays out.
We talk about the Guardians of the Ring's finals. Shuri advances. Elizabeth Swann advances. These two face off again tonight.
And Shaggy Rogers and Flynn White are unexpected victors in this matchup, and they take on each other in the men's Guardians of the Ring final later tonight.
Gonna be a packed evening for sure, and looks like we're gonna get tonight kicked off with the man who currently holds the Tri-Wizard Championship, RJ Bishop, with microphone in hand. Let's hear what the champ has to say tonight at Guardians of the Ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to welcome you to the new era of FWE. It is even more of an honor for me to enter you into this new age of the industry as the current FWE Tri-Wizard Champion. Now, first things first, I would like to thank the current Intercontinental Champion, Dylan Poteet, for having my back the past couple weeks and wishing him the best of luck on defending his title tonight against Hades. I wish I could be there to support him, but as you know, Commissioner Woody has banned anyone from ringside. Now, secondly, I would like to wish the best of luck to Flying Rider and Shaggy tonight, as one of them will get a guaranteed shot at the FWE Tri-Wizard title at Combat Involved. Now, I would love to say that I will be the man that one of them will face for the title, that brings me to my next issue that I need to address. You see, I don't exactly know what the Shadow Lord's problem was with me, but I can honestly say that no one has ever taken me to my limits the way that he did back during our ambulance match at Clash on Coruscant. You know, it's funny. My hand may be raised in victory, but it really didn't feel like a win, to be honest. Now, my ribs were crushed, I have a concussion. Heck, I wasn't even cleared to wrestle until 2 weeks ago. And yet, the Shadow Lord continues to appear just 1 week after our battle. I don't know, do I do a good enough job? So, Shadow Lord, this is directly towards you and you only. See you on May 31st at Tatooine, PLE. And I want to run it back with you one more time. Now, I know you want me to put this Triwizard title on the line, and I gladly will. But, here's what I want. If I win, your mysterious identity is revealed. If I win, you lose your mask. You see, you may want anyone to think you're a malicious being with magical powers, but our ambulance match, I learned you're merely just a man, and I will unveil to the whole world your identity. And just in case if you're not sold on this idea, I'll sweeten the pot. If you're not the only person in this business that has not put on a mask to embrace your dark side, I did the exact same thing a long time ago with somebody else. I did it way before everyone knew your existence. I'll be honest, there was times I was gonna miss going back to this place, but having no control over what my next moments can or cannot be. But if I'm gonna go get you to risk your mask for this match, I feel I'll do the same thing. Therefore, if you manage to beat me at Bash at Tatooine, not only you will win the Triwizard title, but the FWE universe will never see the Borgar persona ever again. So what do you say, Shadow Lord? Are we on?
Well, it looks like the challenge is about to be answered here. You and I, we turned and looked at each other, and I think we kind of mirrored the same blank stare. I mean, let's try and unpackage what's going on right here. So RJ wants a rematch against the Shadow Lord. The Shadow Lord's mask on the line. The Triwizard Championship on the line. And RJ Bishop, if he loses, we never see the Burger persona again. Have I got this right?
I think so. So one of these two is about to get unmasked, is what we're saying here.
The ramifications of this match are crazy.
They are. I mean, this is as close as we're going to get to finding out who in the world the Shadow Lord could possibly be.
There has been speculation, there have been rumors of who this masked individual could possibly be. And if RJ Bishop is successful on May 21st at Bash at Tatooine, we may know once and for all who this figure is. It's certainly looking like the Shadow Lord is accepting this challenge, and it'd be part 2. Remember, that ambulance match they had back at Bash to Tatooine, it was crazy.
Oh boy.
What the heck?
Speaking of crazy,
Well, this is an image that will be living in our minds for the next month or so. Mark it down, folks. Bash at Tatooine, RJ Bishop, the Shadow Lord. The rematch is on Mask versus Mask.
Our new Cozy Cone Cruiserweight champion, Susan Storm's first title defense is going to come against Shigo, and that's going to be our first matchup here in tonight's PLE.
Remember, Shigo ended up having a pinfall earlier on in the qualifying, the Fatal 4-Way qualifying match in the Guardians of the Ring tournament. It wasn't counted. That's why she gets the matchup here this evening.
Cruiserweight Championship.
Well, Jack, I just took a quick moment to look over the notes here. We could potentially see some history in the women's division here tonight. Shigo is a former tag team champion along with Kim Possible. She is a former female fighting champion. No woman in the history of FWE has ever held 3 different types of belts here in FWE. If Shigo wins tonight, she would be the very first.
Talk about a little bit of history in our first matchup at this PLE, but I'm really curious to see how she's going to approach this matchup, as well as Susan Storm. Again, like we mentioned, this is Susan Storm's first title defense. She's held the Women's Cruiserweight Championship for, let me double check the notes, 129 days. That's a really long time to not have a title defense.
I believe that Women's Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship, she won it back in early December of last year, that steel cage match at Fallout. And it's the first time, as you just alluded to, that she has put that belt on the line. Now, granted, there have been some other matchups here in the last couple of months that have maybe kind of taken away the opportunity for her to defend that belt. We, of course, had the Guardians of the Ring tournament this past month. We could go back to the power-up ladder match that she took part in, the qualifying matchups there. But now here tonight, first opportunity to defend that title and continue her reign in the Cruiserweight division.
And the priorities have certainly shifted. You can see that beautiful new-looking Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship that'll be on the line in our first matchup as we send it to our ring announcer, Mike Rome.
Introducing the challenger from the internet, Shirley. And her opponent from Long Island, New York, the Women's Cruiserweight Champion, Sue Storm.
Well, you talked about that brand new title belt design. We're going to see a lot of belts here tonight defended, some new designs on them as well. This new arena. Join us next Thursday night as we're going to be kicking off this new era with weekly episodes of Fantasy Wrestling Entertainment and FWE Extra on Saturday nights inside the brand new Fantasy Dome. But one thing I do have to say, it's nice to still have the old figures of Mike Rome as our ring announcer and referee Ernest Wright.
Yeah, those two are still here with us, and it looks like as well we finally have those signs that we've been talking about for the flying chairs.
I did notice those.
Been talking about it for so long.
Suggestion box must have been overflowing. They had to listen to us.
Oh, nice kick there by Susan Storm. Going to go right into the cover. This is an electric start to this match.
Disaster kick right out the gate. And Shigo is going to kick out. Remember, Shigo called her shot here for this title. It was basically I guess a gift from Commissioner Woody after Shigo and Rapunzel both had a cover in that fatal four-way qualifying match in the Guardians of the Ring tournament. Referee Ernest Wright only saw the cover that Rapunzel had, counted the 3, and Rapunzel ended up moving on to the semifinals. As a bit of a recompense for Shigo, Commissioner Woody said, you gotta declare on that night, that one specific night, you gotta declare for a title, but you get #1 contendership for a mid-card title. She chose to fight for the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship here tonight.
And I almost wonder if her decision was maybe based on the fact that Susan Storm hasn't had a title defense yet. It's not like she hasn't been here. She's been here. She's been fighting. She's been in all kinds of qualifying matchups for various tournaments. So she's been in action, but she hasn't really given herself much of an opportunity to defend that title that's currently around her waist. And now these two are going to get into a slugfest.
Chop after chop here. Oh my goodness. I don't know how much a cheap seat costs, but I think you can probably hear them from up there.
These are vicious chops. That was a huge one there by Shigo. Another one connects.
Back and forth. Susan Storm saying, bring it. And call it, Jack. Call it.
Hockey fight right in the middle of this ring. And Susan Storm going to be left dazed from it. Shigo going to try and climb to the top rope here.
Looking to fly is Shigo. Down goes Susan Storm with the double axe handle, and Shigo looking to stay on the champion.
Did another double axe handle for good measure. Now going to bring her up. Oh, and right back down.
Oh! Almost a brainbuster suplex there. Fisherman brainbuster by Shigo, and the champion is dazed for the time being here. Tried to get to the outside for a reprieve. Shigo's not going to let up.
Well, she's going to get to the outside now, but it's going to be a lot more painful as she gets dropped down onto both the ring apron and the top of that LED board that we have.
As both women outside of the ring, we got to bear in mind it is champion's advantage. The title cannot change hands on a count out, as now referee Ernest Wright going to begin that 10 count here. Shigo's got to be aware of that.
I think Susan Storm might have been busted open as she was tossed into that LED ring post.
Oh,
now
look
going to
out.
be sent right into our announce table. Hello.
Right into our neighborhood here at ringside, and now, oh, look at this. Roll up.
Roll up.
Nice move there by Susan Storm. Almost was able to get a quick pinfall on the challenger to retain the title.
Facebuster there by the champion. Could be the window of opportunity that Susan Storm needs.
You mentioned that laceration, courtesy of the ring post. Looks like it might be right up above. Looks like the right eyebrow of Susan Storm. As now going up top is the champ. Shigo in the drop zone.
My.
Shooting star press cover is in. Oh, and a kick out of 2.
I thought that was it. That
I
felt
did
like that
too.
could have been the end of it. I mean, the crowd's
Susan.
chanting fight forever. I don't think they necessarily can because we got plenty more matches here on the card, but they are putting on a show on this first one.
That shooting star there is, oh, hold on. Oh, big takedown there by Shigo. That's the Operation Dragon.
Oh. Referee called for the rope break.
Costly ring awareness error there by Shigo.
Gonna go for it again.
Could she be trying for a second one? She's gonna hit it. Operation Dragon in again. And
The
again.
legs. Watch the feet. Her foot was right underneath that rope.
2 opportunities to become the new Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Champion, but costly errors there by Shigo. Uh-oh. This is not a good place to be if you're Susan Storm. Massive powerbomb.
Right in the middle of the ring. This time she's nowhere near the ropes. To force the rope break and another double axe handle for good measure.
Shigo thinking here, oh, again, another double axe handle right to the back of the neck. Oh,
Dodge,
but
though.
that'll stop the momentum.
And it's going to get all the momentum back in Susan Storm's favor. She's going to have to capitalize on it. She needs a flurry of offense of her own.
Shot right to the leg there, trying to knot up that hamstring. You can see a little gamey on that left leg now as Shigo could take away a lot of not only her power game, but maybe some high-flying offense.
for a shot, and now the back suplex.
Almost an angle slam type suplex there by Susan Storm.
Apparently formidable. Like I said, don't sleep on her just because she hasn't defended the title yet. She's still very capable of defending it if she needs to.
Big kick to the back of the head there, going in for the cover to retain the title that has been over 100 days, and a kick out by Shigo. Pretty powerful kick out there, almost a press slam kick out, completely threw Susan Storm off of her.
Well, on the one hand, you'd want to say, yes, there's still a lot of life left in the challenger, but on the other hand, that was a kick out at 2, so it still took her a little bit to get enough wherewithal to kick out. Oh. Another boot to the side of the head, and Shigo's going to leave the ring for a brief rest. Only a brief one, though.
Back inside of the ring here. Here comes, oh, the Superman punch!
Another shot to the head.
Nice go behind suplex, lariat, clothesline, and uh-oh. Susan Storm going back up top.
This could be it.
Invisible impact scores again. Cover is in to retain the title, and Susan Storm is successful in her first title defense.
Here is your winner, and still Women's Cruiserweight Champion, Sue Storm.
Well, credit where credit is due. May have been the first time since winning the title that she put it on the line, but a very successful title defense for Susan Storm tonight.
Full credit to her where it's due, but now we've got to move on to the men's tag team championship picture. Ed and Eddie, the new look family, going to take on the current champions, Leonardo and Donatello, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Of course, Ed and Eddie now aligned with the family, and that has helped them get to this point here tonight. We talked about it not too long ago at Saturday Night Springfield. It seems like maybe some legitimacy to this team that maybe they weren't afforded in the past. Ever since joining the family, they've been on a tear. They've defeated the Thrill Seekers. We saw them defeat the Black Pearl Crew for this #1 contendership at the Saturday Night Springfield PLE. Here tonight, in just, about 3-4 weeks since aligning themselves with Michael Norman and Matt McIntyre, they could have their first reign atop the men's tag team division.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, this is just still insane to me that Michael Norman made this call to bring these three into the faction, but so far, so good. They've got a #1 contender opportunity just like that, and now, let's see what they do with it.
Notice Double D coming out here to ringside with them. Was in their corner back at the Saturday Springfield PLE as well. But how about these two? Multi-time now tag team champions, and they have been fighting champions as well. Most notably, last defended their titles successfully against the Mario Brothers. Now tonight, getting ready to take on Ed and Eddie of the family.
And it was definitely an interesting one when they first won Tag Team Gold because they were participating against the old version of the family inside the steel cage at War Games. They lost that matchup, and then they kind of went on a hiatus. We hadn't really seen them for quite some time after that War Games match, but then they returned. They won a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match all the way back at Mortal Kombat to earn the Tag Team title opportunity, and they've been pretty strong champions really ever since, despite losing briefly to the Mario Brothers.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the Men's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 371 pounds. Edward and Edward, the family. And and their opponents at a combined weight of 468 pounds, the men's tag team champions, Leonardo and Don, the Orient Express.
You can see the brand new design on the men's Disney tag team titles, and I love what you were just talking about as well, because this is kind of the rekindling of a rivalry, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles against the family version 2.0, I guess we could say. And let's not forget that the last time that those factions faced off against each other, those tag team titles were in the camp of the family, then held by Anthony McCurry and Cole Eastwood.
Times have certainly changed here in FWE in more ways than one.
Massive build there by Ed. The power of Ed has been insane to watch these last couple of weeks, and there it is on display again with a Uranagi.
Goes for the tag right away. I mean, yeah, these two have definitely been, I guess, unpredictable. There's a nice scoop power slam and then the cover. Kick out at one, but the Ninja Turtles, they're definitely not going to take this one lightly. I feel like nobody should take them lightly after they came out of nowhere, attacking the Black Pearl crew at first.
Bash at Tatooine, you see there, our next PLE, May 21st. Who's going to be the tag team champions when we eventually get to that PLE? We already have a match for that card just earlier on tonight. It's been announced. It's going to be our Tri-Wizard champion, RJ Bishop, running it back with the Shadow Lord. And I don't want to say that the title is an afterthought, but in the ramifications of the matchup, it kind of is, because not only is the Tri-Wizard championship hanging in the balance, but it is mask versus mask. If RJ wins, we reveal the identity of this individual known as the Shadow Lord. But if the Shadow Lord wins, we will never again see the Burger Man persona in an FWE ring.
I mean, to your point, the title almost feels secondary, but at the end of the day, it is still a championship match, so these guys are going to want to give it all they can when we get to that point. I'm curious to see how Leonardo's feeling right now, because he just got dropped. His back area just got dropped into those steel steps. He might be wearing that shell, but the protection is only so much. You're still going to feel it.
Oh, look at this. Eddie getting inside the ring. I don't believe he's the legal participant here.
He's not.
Straight's got to get him out of there.
Leonardo delivered a cheap shot. Eddie went for redemption. Covers in now.
Running power slam by Ed, and a kick out at one.
I was about to say, Leonardo might want to think about going for a tag soon, which he does. Donatello
Nice.
with the roll-up.
Look at this. Uses his legs there for leverage. Caught Ed by surprise for a moment. And then a springboard moonsault. I think that Eddie was trying to reach for a tag, but that will cut Ed off, at least for the moment.
Maybe Turtles, but they're Ninja Turtles, so they can have this high-flying offense, this fast-moving offense as long as they want. Something that the family are going to have to try and keep in check here.
You know, obviously, when we look at the history and the tactics of Michael Norman, the leader of the family, there's a lot of question marks in how he does his business. But at the same time, you can't really fault the successes that they've had. Obviously, Matt McIntyre has been on an incredible run as the current United States champion, has held that title now coming into tonight 247 days.
That's
multiple
ridiculous.
Title defenses, and then of course as well, how about the stock of Ed, and Eddie, how it has skyrocketed here in just the last month alone. Would we have ever thought that they would be in #1 contendership for the tag team titles here tonight? Aligning themselves with Michael Norman and the family has paid dividends for them.
And you know what? I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm actually going to give them a bit of credit, because at the very least, you know, maybe they've attacked some people in a bit more of a malicious way, but they haven't exactly earned these title opportunities by much other malicious means. You know, that's what we would see the old version of the family do. These guys, you know, at the very least, they've earned these title opportunities.
That's a great point there. Of course, as we mentioned, they've defeated 2 teams already in the Thrill Seekers, and most recently the Black Pearl crew, now looking to rise to the top of the division here as Eddie's in a world of hurt and getting A bit of a mugging here from both Donatello and Leonardo, trying to fight back, and all the while, referee on his strikes trying to get the two legal participants back between the ropes.
Almost wonder if the Ninja Turtles are maybe thinking count out. If Eddie does not get back into the ring, we have a count out, and that means a title retention. We're on a count of 5. He hasn't moved.
Oh, he just broke up that count, though. Leaving the ring, it resets back to 1, maybe to do a little bit more punishment here on the outside.
Probably realized that that was not enough punishment. Needed to dish out even more. Back into the ring we go.
Irish whipped off the ropes. What does Donatello have in store? He hits the Superman punch on Eddie. Cover is in to retain the titles. Oh, and I thought that was it. 2.999.
That certainly felt like that should have been it, but still life in the challengers. I think Eddie might be thinking about going for a tag at some point soon.
Leonardo and Donatello, as mentioned, on their second reign at the top of the men's tag team division. Only one other team in the past has held the tag team titles more than once. That was our current Tri-Wizard champion, RJ Bishop and Nick Gunther, back when they were known as Vicious and Delicious. We haven't seen Nick Gunther in quite a long time here as the jawbreaker there, and almost had new tag team champs.
Leonardo flew in to break that one up and went for a cheap shot.
Oh, wait a minute, second jawbreaker! No way.
No way.
Cover is in. Is there going to be new champions? Oh my goodness.
You gotta be kidding me.
Here are your winners, and the new men's tag team champions, Edward and Edward, the family.
You could hear a pin drop in this arena tonight for the second time ever in FWE. The tag team belts are in the possession of the family.
I guess they only care about absolute power, but somehow we have to move on from that matchup. Elastigirl, Poison Ivy, they clash for the Women's Universal Championship. That's going to be our next match.
We're running it back from the last PLE at Power Up, when Poison Ivy lost the belt to Elastigirl. Tonight, she's the challenger.
The Women's Universal Championship.
What an absolutely insane night it has been so far.
We've just gotten started.
We have. We've only had 2 matches down.
Well, Poison Ivy, former Women's Universal Champion, held the belt for 100 days prior to the Power Up PLE. Let's not forget, Jack, as well, there was really no clear #1 contender. Poison Ivy got to pick her opponent. She gave the opportunity to Elastigirl. Elastigirl cashed in to win the belt. Now we run it back here. Can Poison Ivy win the title belt back at Guardians of the Ring?
You certainly have to feel like there might be momentum against her, because you have to forget this past Saturday, or you can't forget this past Saturday, at Saturday night at Springfield, she took on Elizabeth Swan in the semifinal matchup in the Guardians of the Ring tournament. She was unsuccessful in that matchup, but she gets a title opportunity here tonight. That's something else that we need to keep in mind as well here, is that the 2 women participating in the Guardians of the Ring final, Elizabeth Swan and Shuri, they're going to probably be paying attention to this matchup, because they might get the winner of tonight's matchup when we get to Combat Evolved.
That's a great point. We also need to bear in mind that not only did these 2 face off for the belt back at the Power Up PLE, but both Poison Ivy and Elastigirl were involved in the same fatal 4-way qualifying match to kick off the Guardians of the Ring tournament. Poison Ivy came out on top in that one. So obviously it's not one-on-one in both circumstances, but could we say one apiece in terms of victories over the other leading into tonight's matchup?
I would say so. It's insane to think about the things that these 2 have been involved in lately, and you know, we also have to bring up the fact, I guess we don't necessarily need to because it's a moot point, but Elastigirl was in the Guardians of the Ring tournament on the women's side, and that would have definitely opened up a whole can of worms if she actually won the tournament as the champion.
Let's also bear in mind here as well, you alluded to it, Elizabeth Swan-Shuri later on this evening to determine who's going to be the #1 contender at Combat Evolved. I'll get a little bit more into what I was going to say in a moment. Let's go down to Mike Rome.
Introducing the challenger from the Garden of Eden, Ivy! And her opponent from the 5th dimension, the Women's Universal Champion, Helen Parker!
I was going to mention, we talked about this at length during the Saturday Night Springfield PLE, and we've been talking about it here for the last month or so, ever since the Power Up PLE. We were talking about the fact that we don't have a guarantee of who the Women's Universal Champion's even going to be by time we get to Combat Evolved. Here tonight, Poison Ivy could get the title back, but let's also not forget the X Factor backstage, that Money in the Bank, that Power Up briefcase in the possession of Moana. We could see a cash in as early as tonight.
We very well could. I mean, there's just so many different things to think about here when it comes to these title pictures.
Test of strength here between these two. A go behind waistlock by Poison Ivy, trying to wear down the champion. Elastigirl trying to fight out of it. Again, this is a rematch between these two from Power Up. As here's a cover, a roll up by Poison Ivy, and a kick out. Reversal into a jackknife cover by Elastigirl, and look at the core strength of Poison Ivy.
This is
Backslide.
insane. Another cover.
Another cover here by Poison Ivy, and Elastigirl will kick out. Nobody ended up even getting a 1 count, but a little bit of a test of wits right there in the early going between these two. Cover again off the neck breaker by Poison Ivy, and a kick out at 1.
This is an electric start to this matchup here. I mean, these guys have been flying here tonight in these matchups so far on this card.
But again, remember, these two have faced off against each other before, so they kind of know each other's playbooks. Try something a little different. Come out of the gate swinging here seems to be the strategy for both sides.
Hey, it very well could work in their favor, but obviously this is still early on, so these moves might not necessarily be enough to put their opponents away just yet. They were kind of wearing each other out. I would say that was kind of the feeling out process. That process is over.
Big kick there from Elastigirl. Oh, and a backbreaker there to Poison Ivy. That high-flying offense of Helen Parr coming into play with the springboard moonsault, and now a little ground and pound with left hands raining down.
She's not slowing down. And for Poison Ivy to get back up to her feet. Here we go again with this chop fest in the middle of the ring.
Boy, we've seen this exchange already tonight between Susan Storm and Shigo. Whoever comes out on the winning side not necessarily is going to have the momentum for the rest of the match, but it could be a turning point as a discus forearm going to crumple Poison Ivy to the mat.
No hockey fight this time.
High knee in the corner there by Elastigirl, and you know, let's not forget as well, I remember us talking about back at the Power Up PLE, Elastigirl had never been in the title picture before. That's the specific reason Poison Ivy chose her. We were kind of wondering if being under the bright lights with all that pressure, if it would get to Elastigirl. Obviously it was not the case. Having that PLE matchup under her belt, this has to be an entirely different Elastigirl that Poison Ivy is facing off against tonight.
Absolutely. She's definitely now a lot more used to the bright lights, used to the big pressure in these title fights at a PLE, so definitely a lot more well-versed in what she needs to do in order to come out on top of these matchups, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Poison Ivy is going to take it easy, especially knowing that she has an opportunity to get that championship back that she probably wasn't expecting to lose. Armbar locked in.
Trying to extend that arm, maybe dislocate the shoulder. Nice job shifting the hips to fight out of it there by Elastigirl. Oh, and a nice suplex there. Poison Ivy now in trouble. Champion in control. Whoop.
Poison Ivy fought her way out of it. Rip off the ropes. Big kick. Turns her inside out. I think it was more of a knee than a kick, actually.
Oh, massive chop in the corner there by Poison Ivy. And now just raking the face of Elastigirl there in the corner. Cover is in here to get the championship back and to kick out at 1.
Power out at 1. I'm thinking about a different matchup there, my bad. Elastigirl. Still in trouble, though. She gets dropped there by that move, and now she might not want to get back up to her feet.
What is Poison Ivy potentially setting up for here? Big slam in the center of the ring. Might be thinking of going up top. Nope, second rope and double X handle. Not sure exactly where she made the impact. I don't know if that was to the forehead or the midsection. And now looking for the Thorn Strike.
That could be it.
Impaler DDT to win the belt back and a kick out. Kick out at 2. We nearly had our very first multi-time Women's Universal Champion.
Poison Ivy could not believe it. She's going to have to deliver quickly, though.
Uh-oh. Setting up for the Ivy Cutter. And could that be the finishing blow? Cover is in on the champion. And Poison Ivy, for the second time in her FW career, is Women's Universal Champ.
Here is your winner, and new Women's Universal Champion, Ivy.
Well, Cruella DeVille, Elastigirl, Elizabeth Swann, Mulan, and Wonder Woman, they've all held the belt, but none can say they've held it twice. Poison Ivy is the first one ever to do so.
Congratulations to Poison Ivy, a historic win for her, but it's time finally for the matches that this PLE was named for. The Men's Guardian of the Ring Tournament Finals is next as Shaggy Rogers takes on Flynn Rider.
I'm sure that everybody ended up having those draft brackets or something, those bracket challenges. I think everyone's brackets were busted. I don't think anyone had these two in the finals.
It's scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the corporation from the 70s. Weighing in at 185 pounds, Shaggy Rogers!
I mean, I saw Shaggy Rogers listed in a match against Thanos as part of his Fatal 4-Way. I did not expect that he was going to come out on top of that matchup, much less make it to the finals, but credit where it's due. He's made it all the way. He's won the table, basically, and all he's got to do is win this matchup here against Flynn Rider, and he'll be guaranteed a World Championship matchup when we get to Combat Evolved.
It's interesting, the storylines of both these individuals coming into tonight. Shaggy Rogers, we've documented the last month or so. Not many people remember he is a former Tri-Wizard Championship. He ended up winning the belt back at the very first PLE here in FWE history, back at Fantasia. He would lose the belt a week later to Dylan Young, but he would love to get himself back up to the top of the mountain. For Flynn Rider, this is the closest in his FW career he's ever gotten to a title shot. One of these two get a guaranteed shot at the Tri-Wizard Championship at Combat Evolved if they win tonight.
And his opponent, representing the outsider from Camelot, weighing in at 229 pounds,
And you talk about the road that Shaggy had to travel here in this tournament, having to take on Thanos and others. I don't want to take anything away from Shaggy Rogers, but I feel like the road was even tougher, maybe emotionally, for Flynn Rider. Let's not forget, back this past Saturday night at Saturday Night Springfield, he advanced, but at the expense of his tag team partner, Aladdin.
I mean, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You have to take on your tag team partner in a matchup to qualify for a bigger one. And, you know, certainly that was not the first instance of us seeing that sort of thing in FWE before, but that doesn't necessarily make it any easier. So hopefully he's been able to kind of shake those thoughts from his mind and only worry about tonight's matchup.
Here we go, bell rings. One man will become a future #1 contender at the Combat Evolved PLE. You've had a chance to kind of watch both these guys in action. Is there a favorite for you coming into the night?
I can't tell you. I mean, I kind of like how Shaggy has been able to ride this momentum all the way to the finals, but definitely don't sleep on Flynn Rider. I feel like Flynn, there's a little bit less tape on him because he hasn't necessarily, had these title opportunities before, whereas Shaggy, on the other hand, yes, it was only for a week, but he does have, to a degree, some pedigree of being a former world champion.
Headlock here by Shaggy on Flynn Rider, and yes, folks, do not adjust your sets. We are in a brand new era of FWE, kicking it off here with this Guardians of the Ring PLE tournament final here with Flynn Rider and Shaggy Rogers. Cover here by Flynn on Shaggy, who kicks out at 1.
I can tell you one thing for certain about this new era. I cannot wait to go see the new Fantasy Dome this next Thursday. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
And what incredible storylines we have going into that first episode of this brand new era on Thursday nights for Fantasy Wrestling Entertainment. Susan Storm successfully defended the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship here tonight, but new champions in the tag team division for the men's side, Ed and Eddie. Yes, you heard me correctly. The newest members of the family now hold the tag team belts, and just moments ago, Poison Ivy made history. Now a 2-time Women's Universal Champion as she reclaimed the belt from Elastigirl.
All that plus, let's not forget about what happened at the very opening of our show here as RJ Bishop emerged from backstage and challenged the Shadow Lord to a mask versus mask match before he reverted back to his burger persona. Basically told him, I'm going to put the Tri-Wizard Championship on the line. Let's hold that thought submission, I think, is locked in. He's going to fight his way out of it. RJ's going to put the Tri-Wizard Championship on the line. And if he wins that title, we're going to finally find out who the Shadow Lord is. But if RJ loses, we'll never see the Burger Man again.
We are definitely, to steal a phrase from Jacob Fatu, all gas, no brakes here in this new era of FWE as Shaggy Rogers firmly in control for the moment, wrenching on the arm here of Flynn Rider. And we've seen both Shaggy and Flynn in their respective paths here in this Guardians of the Ring tournament both like to kind of hit that final kill shot from the top rope. It'll be interesting to see which one migrates their way up there first.
I mean, they've already made their way outside the ring here, so definitely willing to use everywhere in the arena. There was a nice drop kick there by Shaggy into the cover.
They'll hyperextend the knee there and a kick out at 2. Did you notice there that he also hooked the leg of the knee he had just targeted, making it a lot tougher for Flynn Rider to get that leverage to kick out of that pinning predicament?
We'll have to keep an eye on that leg, that knee area for Flynn.
Off the ropes. Oh, nice takedown there. Hurricane Rana takedown by Shaggy. Uppercut there to Flynn, targeting the midsection. Back down to that knee and a drop kick. Shaggy firmly in control for the moment. Can Flynn get back into it?
Another uppercut, gonna go for these punches, these shots again. Now has Flynn stuck in this corner.
You mentioned about the fact there, that matchup made earlier on tonight, RJ Bishop and the Shadow Lord gonna run it back at Bash at Tatooine on May 21st. We have to bear in mind that the Tri-Wizard Championship's on the line as well. One of those two individuals maybe might end up being the champion by the time we get to the Combat Evolved PLE for either Flynn or Shaggy to face off against. But much like we talked about back during the Women's Universal Championship, Will Turner, he's walking around backstage with the power-up briefcase. There's just so many different facets right now of who potentially could be the champ by the time we get to the Combat Evolved PLE.
I mean, there's so many threads to the storyline. I mean, it's, it's crazy. I mean, the action is in full speed right now. And what is Shaggy thinking about here?
Oh, I thought maybe he was thinking about maybe a springboard forearm there on the outside, but instead, hoists Flynn up, guillotine, drapes him on that top rope.
Well, Flynn, I think they were both thinking about similar moves at the same time, but it ends with Shaggy standing.
And Flynn landed on that gaming knee as well that has been a target point for Shaggy in this matchup.
And I want to to get inside. Nice kick there by Shaggy. Oh, that doesn't connect.
Missed the leg drop. That'll wrench your tailbone. Backbreaker from Flynn Rider. It's been back and forth between these two. They know what's at stake. A guaranteed title shot at Combat Evolved and a dragon screw again to that left knee.
This matchup has been insane. Honestly, all of these matchups tonight have been ridiculous. Oh!
Massive takedown there by Shaggy. Is this going to be enough? Kick out at 1.
At 1, after all of that, there is still plenty of life left in Flynn Rider. This matchup is nowhere close to over, but Shaggy might want to change that here in a moment.
Oh! Not sure exactly what he was going for there. Almost maybe like a springboard senton, but Flynn was already to his feet. Nice takedown there, though, and Shaggy, again, back in control. That time he'll score the leg drop.
Off the middle rope, he got plenty of momentum, and now going to go for another leg drop, this time from the floor. Oh, Flynn to get back into his feet here. He could be thinking about putting this one away.
Brings Flynn Rider into the corner. Shot again to that left knee. That has been the target point the entire time for Shaggy Rogers. Could be the difference maker in this matchup.
Full credit to Shaggy where it's due. He's doing a great job of picking his target and sticking to it, and it's really costing Flynn. He hasn't been able to get these big bursts of momentum like Shaggy has.
Oh no, this does not look like it's going to end well for anybody.
Uh-oh.
Up on the top rope, what is Shaggy thinking? Oh my gosh! Avalanche Hurricane Rana, and that may have taken just as much out of Shaggy as it did Flynn.
He's still not done. He's calling for Flynn to get back onto his feet.
Shaggy setting up. He calls that the Scooby-Doozer. Is that going to be enough? Cover is in to advance to Combat Evolved. Kick out at 2!
Are you kidding me? That should have been it.
What?
That should have been the match.
You can hear the crowd tonight in St. Louis. They can't believe this match is still going.
I'm not sure Shaggy can believe this matchup is going, and he's fired up, and he's going to try and use that anger, I think, but Flynn got into reversal.
Flynn Rider go behind here. Might be looking for a roll-up. He's got the arms and the legs. Oh, he had them all tied up, but Shaggy was able to fight out of it. Clothesline. Inverted atomic drop by Shaggy. Double legs. Drop kick. Cover is in.
Last chance. Cover's
Is
in.
this it? Cover is in. And that is going to do it.
What a match.
Here is your winner, Shaggy Rogers.
Well, we don't know who the champion is going to be when we get to Combat Evolved, but we do know who the challenger is going to be. Shaggy Rogers has made his way to the end of the tournament. He is going to Combat Evolved.
Fantastic job by Shaggy Rogers, and we're going to determine the women's guardian of the ring in our main event. But before we do that, the DC Intercontinental Championship is on the line. I don't even know how we built this matchup, a rivalry that's been going around between Dylan Potier and Hades, but that's up next.
We ended up seeing these two face off at Power Up. Poti was then the challenger, Hades the champion. They've reversed roles in this rematch.
And is for the Intercontinental Championship.
And something else that we have to talk about, RJ alluded to it earlier on tonight. Nobody is allowed at ringside for this matchup, so we are guaranteed no interference from the outside.
This feud surrounding the Intercontinental Championship, it has basically circled around 4 people, those people being Dylan Potier, Hades, RJ Bishop, and the Shadow Lord. It's just going to be Hades and Dylan in this matchup here tonight. Get to settle it out amongst themselves. No outside interference, nothing crazy like that.
It's incredible in the tenure that we've had the Intercontinental Championship, only 4 men have held that belt. Hades, making his way down to ringside, is one of those 4. Dylan Potier, the current champion, being one of the others. The only other 2, Robbie Gilvin and the inaugural Intercontinental Champion, Michael Norman.
It is not a title that has changed hands often, but I'd venture to say that the matches that have surrounded this title are some of the most electric we've ever seen. I mean, think about this. RJ Bishop made his return back at Paramount. We hadn't seen RJ for quite some time after he had been defeated by Nick Gunther in that rivalry between the former members of Vicious and Delicious.
Saw him come out and flanking Dylan Poteet in that matchup.
And that matchup too, I mean, in that rivalry, that was the last time that we saw RJ as the Burger Man persona before he returned at Paramount to make the Intercontinental Championship match a Fatal 4-Way that Hades was involved in. So these two, they've had their paths crossed before.
Dylan Poteet, it's been quite a whirlwind last couple of months for him. We saw him make his debut in FWE as a fill-in for RJ Bishop. That evening, the Shadow Lord attacked RJ Bishop. Bishop had to be taken to the hospital, so Poteet took his place, joining the Rockers in a 6-man Tornado tag team matchup that involved Hades, the Shadow Lord, and Gaston. Poteet would take the pinfall loss to Hades. Who would have thought that a couple months later, we would have been seeing this feud between these two individuals with the Intercontinental Championship hanging in the balance?
I mean, it just goes to show you how much wins in your career can rapidly change it. I mean, you know, Poteet obviously eating that pinfall in his debut to Hades, but at the end of the day, he was able to find more momentum in his play and earn this matchup and earn the championship. So credit where it's due. It may have been a shaky start, but he's very, very quickly found his footing.
Kind of interesting circumstances here. This is the second of 2 title rematches this evening. The first one, we saw Elastigirl lose the title back to Poison Ivy. I mentioned about knowing each other's tendencies. I'm going to ask you a question about this matchup here in just a moment, if maybe we follow the same lines.
Introducing the challenger from the pits of hell, weighing in at 220 pounds, the Warden of Death. And his opponent from Louisville, Kentucky, weighing in at 215 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, the Mailman, Dylan Potter.
They call it the Workman's Championship, that Intercontinental belt. But going to that point, I was going to ask you, I mean, you go back to that rematch. Poison Ivy had never faced off against Elastigirl until Power Up lost the belt. Then kind of knew Elastigirl's tendencies tonight, was able to win the title back. With that being said, Hades now has an idea of what Dylan Poteet is going to bring to the table. Does that put the champion at a disadvantage in this matchup?
I would say so, but at the same time, I almost wonder if maybe Dylan Poteet thought about the same thing, and he's going to try and bring some new tactics to this one, as he went for a drop kick right off the bell, but Hades was able to dodge it.
And you notice at ringside, nobody is there. No RJ Bishop in the corner of Dylan Poteet. No Shadow Lord in the corner of Hades. As a cover here, a roll-up by Hades. Who would have had that on the bingo card out of the gate?
Quick start to Hades for this one. It probably is a mental thing, though. Kind of get it in Dylan Poteet's head that he was in a cover right off the rip. So the mental chess is already being played.
Well, it is a new era here in FWE, so maybe we're seeing a new era of our wrestlers as well, what they bring to the table. As there you see it, folks. Our next time we'll see you for a PLE May 21st bash at Tatooine. We already know one match that is going to be on that card. We're going to relive RJ Bishop and the Shadow Lord Tri-Wizard Championship on the line, but more importantly, mask versus mask. Shadow Lord's mask versus the Burger Man persona.
Dylan Poteet just got tossed way up from the air all the way to the floor ringside. That was not into the ring mat. That was into this minimal padding that we have here ringside. They're outside the ring.
I was going to say, something we've learned from the past. You don't want to be on the outside of the ring with Hades.
Hades, we know, very well versed in those tombstone pile drivers as they're at a count of 7. I mean, if you're Dylan, you like this interaction to continue. They both kind of realize, though, they got to get back into the ring at a 9 count.
Would have been champion's advantage for Poteet if either he or Hades had gotten counted out. Whoa, look down.
Whoa.
Oh, drop kick gonna take Hades down. Poteet tried that drop kick on the outside, but Hades stayed to a vertical base. This time he brings the big man down.
Some good athleticism here by Poteet. Now has Hades down, but a nice kick there by Hades, so he's reading his book as well.
And now just wearing out the back, the shoulder region. Is Hades already thinking for a choke slam here?
He's thinking about it, but I think he hesitated there for a moment. Maybe he feels like he needs to dish out even more punishment.
Oh! Big scoop slam there by Hades. Remember, Hades the challenger here, former Intercontinental Champion. It's kind of interesting. We were talking about Poison Ivy making history tonight. First woman to hold the Women's Universal Championship twice. Well, I mentioned that list of individuals, a small list that have formerly held the Men's Intercontinental Championship. Hades looking to be the first multi-time holder of that belt as a vice grip here on the forehead. The hand is so big, he's able to actually push on both temples on either side of the head.
Devastating grip. I don't know how Poteet is able to fight his way out of it. He's going to have to find his way out of this cover, and he does so at 1.
Almost looked like a modified bear hug slam that we see out of the playbook of Baymax.
These two are taking the page out of Baymax's playbook here. I mean, everybody's certainly evolving with this new era. I can tell you, too, myself, I've been working on some new finishing moves to add to the arsenal as well, so I feel like a lot of people have gotten the memo as there was a huge, some kind of a DDT.
Spike Dylan's cranium down into the mat, and now challenger in control, reining in those right hands to Poteet, and now might be setting him up.
Again, hesitating though. Maybe feels like the choke slam is not going to be enough to put him away.
Uh-oh. Oh, gracious!
Oh my.
I thought he might be going for the tombstone, but that was a worse landing for Poteet, up over the top and out to the floor. I mean, that's an extra, what, maybe 4 or 5 feet of drop there? Oh!
Oh! He's going to get sent in the LED ring post. Again, they're both ringside. I'm keeping my eyes out here. We know that Hades is thinking about maybe landing that tombstone pile driver.
Poteet thinking, oh!
Too slow.
Hades able to get back inside the ring, out of the drop zone of Poteet.
Credit to Poteet there, too, because he kind of realized his move wasn't going to connect. He kind of slowed his descent in midair.
Oh, look at that. Whoa, nice go behind. Roll up here by the champion on Hades, who kicks out at 1.
Poteet, moonsault from the top rope, connects into the cover.
Hooks that tree trunk leg, and Hades with a kick out at 1.
Get the Irish whip. Nice drop across the knee. What is he thinking about here?
Hades having to use the ropes to get back up to a vertical base. Big uppercut shot. Corner 619 by Poteet. Hades is staggered.
A Hurricane Rana for good measure. And he's slowly working his way back up to his feet.
No, he's got him up. Looking for that Lake of Phoenix burning hammer.
Gonna drag him away. I was gonna say I saw one of Hades' feet fall across the top of the bottom rope there.
That'd be costly time. Wasted right there. Oh, almost got the 3, but Hades with the kick out.
This crowd absolutely loves what they're seeing here.
Oh.
And these moves have been insane.
Massive big boot by Hades. Irish whips Poteet off the ropes. Has him up and down with the side slam. Look at Poteet's forehead. The wounds, the battle scars etched above the brows of the champion. Cover here by Hades. after that sidewalk slam to win the title, and Poti gets the shoulder up at 2.
I was going to say, that's kind of unfamiliar territory for Hades, and it could be in his favor.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
Hades has got him up. Whoa!
Oh!
Reversal with the arm drag by Poti.
Finally, Hades went for the choke slam, and it did not pay off. I wonder if he was maybe concerned that this was what was going to happen if he did go for that choke slam.
Whoa.
Oh, went for the cutter.
Nice sidestep there by Hades. Now Irish whip. Oh my gosh, massive back body drop. Cover here by Hades to be a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, and Poti again gets the shoulder up at 2.
Poti with the reversal there, laid that kick on the Hades' forehead area. I was going to say, that's unfamiliar territory for Hades. We're used to seeing him get busted open on the forehead area.
Oh! That was forehead to forehead there with the headbutt. And now Poti.
You see a welt on his back starting to form there as well. Poti is taking some punishment in this one.
Again, the Intercontinental Championship on the line here, but it has been a fight between these two. We don't see Hades go up here very often. What is he?
No.
Oh my gosh!
Not from up there.
Superplex! Oh my goodness!
This entire arena is vibrating.
That could be it. That could be it. The title may be changing hands right here. No!
No way. Hades can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is insane.
Hurricanrana takedown by Poti. Now here's the cover by Dylan to retain the title, and Hades kicks out.
Poti might need to do a little bit more here. He's thinking about it for sure.
He's gonna have him up again. His second time the charm. Like a Phoenix connects. Again though, has to get him away from that bottom rope. The lanky figure of Hades, that foot was underneath the bottom rope. A lot of valuable time wasted. Cover is in, and it is gonna be enough. Poti retains the title tonight at Guardians of the Ring.
What a match.
Here is your winner, and still Intercontinental Champion, the Mailman, Dylan Carter.
What a fight between these two. Poti remains the champion with the IC title. But man, what a way to earn it. Speaking of earning it, these two women, they had to fight their way from the start of the Guardians of the Ring tournament. They've made it to the finals. It's a rematch from Infinity War Games. Elizabeth Swann, the former Universal Champion, taking on Shuri.
Is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring, representing the crew from Kingston, Jamaica, Elizabeth Carter.
Well, the road here, at least the latter portion of the road for Elizabeth Swann, has been an interesting one. It's been rematches, callbacks, if you will. In the semifinals, she was able to defeat the now new Women's Universal Champion, Poison Ivy. Those two had faced off against each other in the past. As I said, we're calling it back here again in this matchup, going back to a PLE way back in 2025 with Elizabeth Swann and Shuri, but we've been mentioning the entirety of the night, the word evolution. Neither of these two women are in any way the same as they were back at that Infinity War Games PLE.
Absolutely not. I mean, this matchup that we're about to see here in our main event, it's going to be huge. And I mean, I can already get the sense that it is, because look at what we've seen here tonight. Everybody here in all of these matchups have brought their absolute best to the table. And I mean, I don't even know how these two are going to top what we've seen, but I think they're very capable of doing so.
And her opponent, representing the Asians from deep in the jungle, the Princess Terry.
Well, it was June 26th of last year to be exact. It was an open challenge. The champion Elizabeth Swann issuing an open opportunity for anybody to fight for the Universal Championship. Shuri answered the call. It was a losing effort. Now there is no title on the line in this matchup. However, a guaranteed shot at the title hangs in the balance. Shuri has been on quite a road since last year. She's been in the hunt for the tag team title. She's been in the hunt for the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship. Could she take one step further tonight to claiming her first championship belt in FWE?
I mean, if you ask her, she is certainly more than prepared for this opportunity here tonight, but it's not going to be easy taking on Elizabeth Swann, who has had one of the most dominant championship reigns here in FWE. But here we go with our main event here tonight. Again, like you mentioned, Seth, winner is going to get the Women's Universal Championship match, as these two are taking turns missing moonsaults off the ropes.
Both trying to go for big moves right out of the gate, not really able to scout out correctly, hit those high offense moonsaults. Is now a little test of strength going to go on here between these two, maybe targeting the respective midsections, which probably took a little bit of damage with meeting nothing but canvas. Roll up here
for a cover. Pick out before one.
You mentioned Elizabeth Swann ended up defeating Poison Ivy to advance into the finals of this tournament. Shuri was able to take down a former tag team champion in Rapunzel as she takes the sky, and this time the moonsault hits.
Before we get too far into this one, before it starts getting too crazy, I will say, again, be sure to tune in next Thursday. We're going to get our first look at the brand new FWE Fantasy Dome. We're going to keep the road going towards our next PLE at Bash and Tatooine. It's going to be a crazy road here we have as we kickstart this new era.
Clothesline there to the outside. Elizabeth Swann in trouble as Shuri perched on the top rope. Hurricane Rana.
Kicks to the head. Both ringside again. Double count out. We have to think that our FWE Commissioner Woody would call for a restart to the match if we do end up getting a double count out. Fortunately, we've yet to see one so far.
Backstabber there on the outside. As referee halfway through that 10 count. Midsection first into those steel steps. You obviously have to be aware of the referee's count, but a lot on the outside that you can use to damage your opponent, and that may turn the tide in favor of Elizabeth Swann.
A quick 8 count there, but ultimately I think both participants are going to get back into the ring. Shuri dropping a big clothesline by Swann.
Smart there by Elizabeth Swann, though. As soon as Shuri got back into the ring, the offense continued, giving Shuri no opportunity to breathe. Cover in here. Little late getting to that cover by Ernest Wright to make sure the shoulders were down, and a kick out at 1.
I feel like if he got the count off immediately, she would have kicked out at 2 anyway, so don't value that too much there, but still. Spinning airplane head scissors once again.
So far tonight, we had a total of 4 title matches, 2 title retentions as Poti remains the Intercontinental Champion. Susan Storm still the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Champion. But we've got ourselves a new Women's Universal Champion. Poison Ivy is taking to the skies with a top rope moonsault is Elizabeth Swann, and here's the cover to advance into that title shot at Combat Involved. Kick out at 2 by Shuri. And gold continues to trickle into the family now as Ed and Eddie are the new Men's Disney Tag Team Champions. You mentioned about this Thursday night, Matt McIntyre on a historic reign as United States Champion, but we are going to be determining a new #1 contender in a triple threat. Carlos Zimmerman, Levi McIntyre, and our own Jack Mitchell going to be involved in that #1 contenders match this Thursday night.
There you go. Actually, the first I've heard of that matchup, so I better start getting prepared.
So there you go. Again, the action here to the outside. Oh, what the heck? It ended in a neck breaker, but the start of that move looked nothing like what the finish was going to be.
Evolution. We keep talking about it. Everybody's bringing something new to the table here.
Gotta be honest, it has really been all Elizabeth Swann here for the last 5 or 10 minutes. As another suplex throws Shuri halfway across the ring. Cover is in, and again Shuri able to fight out at 2. If you're Elizabeth Swann, you just gotta make sure you don't make a mistake because she has really had the momentum on her side.
Well, as you say that, a reversal there by Shuri, and now Shuri needs to capitalize on that window she's gotten as her opponent in the corner.
Running forearm there, takes Elizabeth Swann down. Oh, we've seen this before. Draping guillotine leg drop. Cover is in. Is this gonna be enough for Shuri to advance and only gets a 1 count?
Like Shuri's going to need to bring in a bit more offense here because, again, like we've been saying, it's been all Elizabeth Swann so far in this matchup. He's not necessarily as exhausted as Shuri has been. Look out here.
Look, the arms into a... Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be too, but instead a double arm hook backbreaker and a springboard moonsault. She connected, but it looks like it may have actually hurt her just as much. That's uh-oh.
Oh no.
Got her in the drop zone potentially here. Might be looking for Wakanda Forever. The double stop. Cover is in. Is this enough? Yes!
Yes, it is.
Shuri is going to Combat Evolved. She will fight for the Women's Universal Championship.
Here is your winner, the Princess Perry.
What a night. What a series of matches we've had here at Guardians of the Ring. This has certainly been a show for the ages, a hell of a way to kickstart our new era here in FWE.
Well, nearly a year since she made that debut at Infinity War Games to fight for the Women's Universal Championship. She will be at Combat Evolved to fight for that title once again. Will she be successful? We'll have to wait and see. This brand new era of FWE, we hope you all enjoy the ride. This Thursday night, we'll be inside the brand new Fantasy Dome for a brand new era of fantasy wrestling entertainment. For Jack Mitchell, I'm Seth Cole. Good night from Guardians of the Ring.